fire is catching, and if we burn, you burn with us. Katniss Everdeen. Hey there, and welcome back to Timeless Narrations. Today we're wrapping up the Hunger Games trilogy with Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins, the final chapter in Katniss Everdeen's story. This book takes us beyond the games, into full-scale rebellion, psychological trauma, and the hard choices of war. This summary is made to be perfect for background listening while working or relaxing. Let's get into it. When we last left off, Katniss had just blown up the force field in the arena during the Quarter Quell. She was rescued by rebels and taken to District 13, a place everyone thought was destroyed. But it turns out, District 13 went underground years ago and has been preparing for war ever since. Katniss wakes up in a sterile hospital room, disoriented. She's been physically rescued, but emotionally, she's shattered. Her mind is fogged by trauma, grief, and guilt. She learns that Peeta was captured by the Capitol, along with Joanna and Annie. Meanwhile, Finnick survived and is recovering with her in 13. The news about District 12 is even worse. It's gone. The Capitol firebombed it after the arena was destroyed. Only a handful of people made it out thanks to Gale, who got as many out as he could. Her home, the meadow, the hob, all of it reduced to ash. President Coin, the calculating leader of District 13, wants Katniss to become the Mockingjay, the symbolic face of the rebellion. But Katniss isn't ready. She doesn't want to be used anymore. She's still reeling from the betrayal she felt when she learned that Haymitch and Plutarch Heavensbee were part of a secret plan to rescue her, but not Peeta. Eventually, after a visit to the ruins of District 12 and a haunting scene with skeletal bodies and scorched rubble, she agrees to be their Mockingjay. But she makes demands: immunity for Peeta, Johanna, and the others if they're rescued, the right to personally kill President Snow, and protection for her family and Gale. Coin agrees. The rebellion now has its Mockingjay. In this new war, battles aren't just fought with guns, they're fought with messages, with media, and with manipulation. Katniss becomes the star of short propaganda films meant to stir the hearts of the districts. But she's not a good actress. Her first attempts are flat and awkward, staged in front of a green screen with a script. But they aren't genuine. So Haymitch suggests a different approach: put her in real danger, in real environments, and let her speak from her heart. They send her to District 8, where she visits a rebel hospital. The people there revere her, but the moment turns tragic. The Capitol bombs the facility. Katniss witnesses the carnage and delivers a line that becomes iconic. "If we burn, you burn with us." The footage goes viral across the districts. It works. Meanwhile, Peeta begins appearing on Capitol broadcasts. At first, he looks normal, thinner, quieter. But over time, it's clear he's being tortured. He begs the rebels to stop fighting. Each appearance is worse than the last. His final one ends in chaos, as he suddenly screams for Katniss to run, right before the screen cuts out. Despite his warnings, the rebellion spreads. Districts fall one by one, siding with the rebels. Beatty, the tech genius, jams Capitol signals and coordinates rebel hacks. The war is being fought with guns and cameras. But Katniss is torn. She's being used again. She starts questioning Coin, and whether District 13 is much better than the Capitol. The rules here are strict. Freedom doesn't really exist. Coin is not Snow, but she's not warm either. After Peeta's warning, District 13 launches a risky mission. Under the cover of rebel attacks, they sneak into the Capitol and extract Peeta, Joanna, and Annie. The reunion is short-lived. Peeta, now home, tries to kill Katniss the moment he sees her. He's been hijacked. a form of psychological torture where tracker-jacker venom is used to rewire his memories. Everything he once loved is twisted into fear and rage. He believes Katniss is a capital agent trying to kill him. It crushes her. Peeta's placed in isolation for his and her safety. Katniss falls deeper into depression. She struggles with guilt and helplessness, unsure if he'll ever recover. At the same time, Joanna is also suffering. She's sarcastic, angry, and traumatized. She and Katniss train together, forming a reluctant bond. Coin begins preparing for the final stage of war, an assault on the capital itself. Rebels have taken control of District 2, the capital's stronghold and home of the Peacekeeper Army. Katniss travels there and confronts the fact that some capital citizens are just ordinary people trying to survive, not monsters. She gives a passionate speech urging them to join the rebels, not resist. After some bloodshed, District 2 finally falls. Now it's time for the capital. Katniss joins Squad 451, a team assigned to film propaganda in the capital. Officially, they're not frontline soldiers. Unofficially, Katniss has her own agenda: reach Snow and kill him. Her team includes Gale, Cressida, Boggs, Jackson, and later, a semi-recovered Peeta. Coin wants Peeta there to manipulate Katniss, a reminder that she isn't in control. The capital has turned its own city into a death trap. The streets are littered with pods, hidden devices that trigger explosions, floods, mutts, or traps, just like a Hunger Games arena. Boggs dies early in the mission. Before he goes, he transfers command to Katniss. The team believes her when she claims she has a secret mission to assassinate Snow. They follow her lead. They lose more members along the way. Mitchell is consumed by black tar, and Jackson sacrifices herself so they can move on. They go underground and into the sewers to avoid detection. But that's where the capital unleashes its most horrifying weapon yet: a swarm of mutts. These aren't just animals. They're human-like lizard creatures with claws, strength, and terrifying speed. They attack the team in darkness. Finnick dies fighting them off. Katniss is numb. Another friend, gone. What's left of the team makes it to the surface. The capital is falling. Rebels are closing in. Snow's mansion is surrounded. Katniss, Gale, and Peeta sneak in among a crowd of capital refugees being funneled toward the gates. Suddenly, a hovercraft drops silver parachutes, just like the ones used in the games. They explode. It's a trap, but not for the rebels. The bombs kill the capital's own children. And then, in a final horrific moment, Prim runs into the blast zone and is killed. Katniss sees it happen. Prim, the one person she was trying to protect, is gone. She blacks out. When Katniss wakes up, the war is over. Snow has been captured. The capital has surrendered. But nothing feels like a victory. She visits Snow in his greenhouse prison. He's calm, almost smug. And he tells her something that chills her to the bone. "I didn't order the bombing. Your President Coin did." Snow claims that Coin used the tactic to turn public opinion against the capital, sacrificing children to justify her own rise to power. Katniss doesn't want to believe it, but it makes sense. Coin has always been cold, calculating. She viewed Prim as Katniss's weakness. Then Coin calls a meeting. The remaining victors, Katniss, Peeta, Haymitch, Joanna, Beetee, and Annie, are asked to vote on a final Hunger Games, using the children of capital leaders. Coin says it's symbolic justice, an eye for an eye. Katniss votes yes. But it's a setup. At Snow's public execution, Katniss steps forward with her bow. Then she turns, and shoots President Coin instead. Chaos erupts. Snow dies laughing, blood choking him. Katniss is tackled and arrested, but she's not executed. Katniss is broken. She's mentally unwell. She's brought back to District 12, her punishment and her prison. She spends days in isolation, eating little, speaking less. She hunts not for food, but for distraction. Peeta returns eventually, not fully healed, but better. He brings bread. They begin talking, and in small moments they start to rebuild something. Not romance, not yet, but trust. Gale never returns. He's off in another district. Katniss doesn't ask for him. Over time, she and Peeta grow closer again. Their bond, forged through pain and survival, becomes something more. They build a life, a quiet one. They have children. Katniss still has nightmares, but she keeps a memory book. She writes about Rue, Prim, Finnick, Boggs, Cinna, and others. People who deserved better. She keeps their stories alive. And she prepares to tell her children everything, someday, so they'll know the cost of war, and maybe never repeat it. And that's it for the Hunger Games trilogy with Katniss Everdeen. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and in the comments, let me know what book or series you want to hear next. See you in the next one.